Could knowing your personality type be the key to unlocking your hidden potential? A groundbreaking new quiz says yes. Understanding the truth about character traits like compassion, enthusiasm, openness can help everybody better cope with the unrelenting chaos of the day and set yourselves up for success. Today, clinical psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson is here with the personality type quiz you need to take. It'll reveal new things you didn't know about yourself and the people around you. An unconventional hero to some, he's become an outspoken critic to others. Jordan is someone who's not afraid to ruffle feathers and go against politically correct culture. Yet despite backlash, Peterson fills auditoriums with followers who say he's brought order to the chaos of their lives. Welcome to Dr. Peterson. For many viewers, it's going to be the first time they've heard about you, so I'm glad they got to see that little piece. And you've become a rock star for a lot of folks. I'm just curious, what is your hope of how you can get people to change their lives for the better?
I'm hoping that I can help people understand that they can find deep meaning in their life, that that's better and more nourishing, let's say, than the pursuit of happiness, and that they can find that meaning mostly as a consequence of voluntarily adopting responsibility. And so that seems to be going quite well at the moment, that idea.
The idea is resonating with a lot of folks, but there are critics who don't like your philosophies of psychology. They find them provocative and controversial is probably the word that's most associated with you. Explain that to us.
Well, some of what's controversial in relationship to the personality quiz, for example, is that credible social scientists, psychologists, know that there are differences in personality between men and women, and that those can't only be attributed to socialization. And so that's apparently become a controversial issue. The idea that there are fundamentally 5 personality types, let's say, or traits, that's somewhat controversial as well. The idea that these have biological roots, that's also controversial, but the science is well-founded, and so and people need to know the truth as far as I'm concerned.
Right. So I'd like the audience to hear this out and try to incorporate it into their lives and take what works for you, as always is the case. So let's talk about specifically our audience. What are the biggest mistakes people watching right now are making as individuals when they try to live the life of chaos that so often engulfs us?
Well, I think there's two fundamental problems. One is it's really hard to see yourself as other people see you. You know, so it's not easy to get an objective view of your personality, and it's helpful. It can help you understand your strengths and weaknesses better and capitalize on your strengths and rectify your weaknesses. I think also that people don't do as much conscious planning for their life as they might, to think out into the future and decide what they need and want, and then to work strategically towards that. Those are both. And the other thing people lack too, they lack a really good vocabulary for personality, you know, and to think things through clearly, you have to understand the proper terminology. And it's not surprising that people don't have that, because it hasn't been that long since personality psychologists have converged on a stable vocabulary.
So this is the goal today, to give folks some words that we can all use to describe ourselves, to understand what's really happening in your life and hopefully react to it. So we got a quiz. It's going to reveal your new personality type, right? It's going to help you achieve your goals. Audience, you all have clipboards. Are you all interested in participating? All right, so all you got to do is pay attention to these 6 questions. They're the A, B, C, D, E. Circle the ones. Everyone at home, you can follow along on drraj.com. It's pretty straightforward. These 6 questions are all going to help us figure out at the end what type of personality you appear to have. And Marissa's going to start us off. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What are your goals that seem to be just out of your reach right now?
Well, just like everybody else my age, I'm trying to find the perfect career that really suits my personality. That it job that I just love.
So how can your quiz help her reach her goals? Marissa's not alone with that goal.
Well, generally speaking, it's better to find a job that matches your personality than it is to match yourself to the job. Now, you have to do a little bit of both, obviously, because life is about negotiation. So if you know who you are and what your personality is, then you can find a career that not only will you find more meaningful and engaging, but that you're likely to do better at, which is also obviously of crucial importance, assuming you want to do better.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Take it away. The first question, Dr. Peterson, is...
Choose a word from this list that describes you best. A, talkative. B, kind. C, anxious. D, efficient. Or E, imaginative.
Right, Marissa. Your best answer.
I would definitely have to say A, talkative. I'm a social butterfly in every situation.
I can sort of see that. All right. Our audience, keep track. We're going to keep moving. Go ahead and label yourself. Again, you're doing it, just don't cheat on it because it's going to be your wisdom that you're going to share with yourself later on. Dr. Peterson, the next question.
Think about your best friend. What single word from this list would he or she use to describe you? A, enthusiastic. B, cooperative. C, worrisome. D, organized. Or E, creative.
All right, everyone has your letter. Pick it, whatever suits you, as you feel you describe it. Marissa, what would you pick?
I would definitely say that I'm E, creative. I'm always coming up with new ideas in different situations that are thrown at me.
Next quiz question is actually one that I wrote up. Take a listen. Here's the next question on the new personality type quiz. Pick the activity that sounds most like something you would do. A, plan a party. B, donate to a charity. C, share a problem with a close friend. D, make a schedule for your week. Or E, create a piece of art. All right, everyone circle your answer. Dr. Peterson, what answer did you circle? Let me ask the doctor.
Make a schedule for the week.
D.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a bit of a toss-up because I could have answered E because I do engage in creative activities.
That's probably common that you could pick more than one.
Yeah,
So you're
definitely.
looking for preponderance, where you're leaning towards most of the time.
Exactly.
Hi, it's Lisa Oz, and I'm here with the next question on Dr. Peterson's personality type quiz. Are you ready? Okay, here are some adages to live by. If you could only choose one, would it be A, spend as much time as you can with friends? B, take care of those in need? C, safety first? D, do your duty? Or E, beauty will save the world? Remember, circle the answer that best relates to you.
All right, what you guys all circle, right? I hope you circle one of them at home as well. That was my wife Lisa with one of the questions of the new personality quiz that can help you unlock your hidden potential. Now remember, pay attention to the letters you're circling. We got all the stuff on DrOz.com. Got 2 more key questions you don't want to miss. Dr. Peterson, take it away.
If you had to admit to a single fault, what would it be? A, I dominate conversations. B, I let people take advantage of me. C, I worry too much. D, I can be a perfectionist. E, I can be scatterbrained.
Audience, how many B's were there, out of curiosity? B's? Yell out your answers. What was it? Just yell them out. Perfect. Everybody's different. And that's part of the beauty of this. We're supposed to be different. And just to be clear, it's not about tolerating each other. We want differences. It makes the bouillabaisse taste better. All right. Actually, you know what? Come back here. Jill, is that your name?
I'm Jill, yes.
Jill, what did you pick?
I can tend to be a perfectionist.
You're a perfectionist.
I can tend to be, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Some people give you a hard time for that?
Not so much anymore. I've been working on it over the years.
Well, we'll see. But why is it important to focus on your faults?
Because if you do things badly, then you're going to run into trouble in life. And so you have to understand that with every gift that you have, there comes an equivalent risk, and you want to manage the risk and amplify the benefit of the positive. And so it's very useful to know when you can go too far. If you're conscientious, you're a good manager, you're a good administrative type, you can organize things, but you might manage people to the point where they can't work with you. And so that's when you've gone too far. Every good thing can go too far.
So my wife calls me the meddler. Mm-hmm. I'm a D too, by the way, on that. I'm a perfectionist, and so I get into things I shouldn't be getting into, like what time the kids are getting picked up.
Right.
And then she'll say, put your cape on, Mr. the meddler,
right,
like the superhero that you don't want to be one. And I think that's important, though. So these aren't all good or bad. They're what you make out of them. They're the cards you were dealt. All right.
Well, if you're conscientious like that, sometimes you have a hard time seeing the forest for the trees, right? And that's a problem if you need to concentrate on the forest.
You're not speaking to me personally, are you?
Well, maybe.
All right. The last question, Dr. Peterson.
When faced with a problem, I tend to approach it A, energetically, B, cooperatively, C, nervously, D, dependably, or E, curiously.
Yeah. Why is that important?
Well, there's lots of ways to solve problems, which is why there's lots of different personality traits and types. And so if you're an extroverted type, then you're going to be able to rely on your ability to use your social skills to bring in information and solve problems. If you're more on the nervous end of things, you're going to be concerned with security and safety, and that can be very useful in lots of occupations. If you're agreeable, then the fact that people like you and you like them is one of your skills. If you're organized and conscientious, then you can use that scheduling ability and to move yourself ahead. And if you're open, then you can think laterally and creatively. And you need to know which of those is your forte and to understand that those are all valid means of solving problems.
You ready for the answers? Coming over here. Okay, we're going to give you the truth about your personality type. But first, let's reveal how to interpret your answers. Tally up which letter you circled first. If you did mostly A's, then you're a personality type that's called extroverted. That's the most dominant one. That's what Dr. Peterson was just speaking about. If you answered mostly B's, then you're mainly an agreeable person. Mostly C's means you are neurotic. But let me be clear about this. This is not a bad thing. You need some neuroses. We all need a little bit of it. That's one of the things that's most interesting. We don't have the vocabulary, as Dr. Peterson was mentioning. We need to have the words. If you're a neurotic person and you know how to use it right, it's a wonderful asset to have.
You have to be sensitive to risk.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And we need one member of the tribe to be sensitive to risk, or else we all get eaten by the saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
Mostly D's, you're conscientious, and mostly E's, your dominant type is openness. Now, what do these personality types mean? Dr. Jordan Peterson says there are 5 major personality types, and uncovering the truth about who you really are can unlock your hidden potential. Did you find out you're an extroverted type? If so, that means you're often assertive, enthusiastic, and social. Extroverts are energized by contact with others in a big group. However, highly extroverted people can also be highly impulsive and not consider future risk. What about the openness type? If this is you, that means you often think outside the box and are highly creative. But people who are high in openness can sometimes find it hard to find a sense of self because of their diverse interests. So try to zero in on what really makes you happy. Those are 2 of the personality types from our new quiz that everyone should take to unlock their hidden potential. Now it's time to break down the 3 others. Clinical psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson is back. Some of these personality types may have negative connotations, so I'm going to start with one, which is neuroticism. And Monique, you tell us that that's what you uncovered.
Yeah.
How'd you react to that? How'd you deal with that possibility? Is that how you would describe yourself?
Not at all. I definitely always look ahead for things, and I'm, always planning for the future, but I never would have called myself neurotic. But I'm neurotic, apparently, so.
So that's not a bad thing, Dr. Peterson. Help Monique and others who are...
It also sounds like you're conscientious. So.
Yes.
Yes, and so everybody scores on all 5 traits. Eh?
Yes.
So the thing about neuroticism, it's the negative emotion dimension. And people who are higher in neuroticism feel more anxiety and emotional pain than average. But the advantage to that is they can make you very risk sensitive and watching for where things of danger might lie. And so if you're planning your future, for example, you can see pitfalls and then you can avoid them, which is a big deal.
Yes.
Whoever would thought we would celebrate neuroticism is a good thing. Thank you, Monique.
Thank you
okay,
so much.
Troy, come on over. Now, the next personality type, well, it's mine. Because when I did the survey, I ended up being the conscientious personality type, which is seemingly good, but not good in all the different ways. So please explain the goods and the bads. I know that all of these have a little bit of each.
Well, you can rely on conscientious people to do what they say they're going to do.
So we have duty and responsibility.
Yep, duty and responsibility. They're reliable and organized, but they also have a... Hey.
How do you like that?
Yeah. Well, it's a very organized show, so you can see that.
Thank you.
But the downside is that people who are high in conscientiousness have a tendency to micromanage. If you have to know what's going on all the time, then no one else gets to step in and do that.
But I hear that voice all the time that I have to because I'm not sure anybody else will. So how does someone like me deal with that?
Well, partly what you do is do what you can to surround yourself with people who are reliable. It involves a little bit of a risk, but you got to pull back if you're micromanaging.
I started writing down things that I had to do, not things that because I wanted to, not all the things that I needed to do. And that's one way I began to triage my life, because I would have just gone down the rabbit hole. Okay. Next up, we got Hala here. Her dominant personality is it being agreeable. How are you?
Hey.
So that seems like a good thing to be agreeable, but as I read more and more of your work, I begin to think that's not always a plus. So you describe yourself as being agreeable?
I do. I like to keep things light and positive, and when it comes to going out with my friends, I'm always the one that's down for whatever,
Are you a warm person?
I am. I am. I'm the one that people confide in.
Right, there you go.
Yep,
That's part of
me.
agreeableness. Yeah. So the downside of that, that's the self-sacrificing element, is that it's harder for agreeable people to argue on their own behalf. And it's easy for them to get resentful. Because you're kind of caring for the world, and maybe you assume that that's going to be reciprocated, or maybe you care for other people more than you even care for yourself. That's harder for agreeable people.
Listen.
There you go.
Right.
Well, I tell you, no, this is a call to action. This is really important, clearly. So for people who are agreeable, God, thank you for being agreeable, but make sure we're doing the right thing by you as well.
And so agreeable people often don't make as much money. And part of the reason for that is that it's harder for them to negotiate on their own behalf. They're not as demanding in situations where they need to be. And it can be a bad medium to long-term strategy.
Oh, I love these insights. Go ask for a raise right after the show.
Right?
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope
you.
that's helpful. Dr. Peterson, it's been extraordinarily valuable. Thank you for having me on the
Thank you
show.
very much.
For the full personality test, you can go to droz.com. You can hear more in Dr. Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. And he has joined me on a series of podcasts that I think will be very helpful for a lot of folks watching in order to figure out what they should be doing in their lives. We'll be right back. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. And remember to check back often to see what's new.